The last few years have been very kind to Nigerian fintech industry, with 150 to about 200 fintech startups calling Nigerian home. This development has made the country become the uncontested African leader in the industry. What can you say is responsible for this sharp growth wave?
Yeah, for me, I think we've always have some of those companies actually operating in Nigerian land. But just that of recent, we've seen that massive growth as a result of the development in the system. And I think one of the things that I will actually point to that actually helps what we are currently seeing in the market is also on the part of Central Bank of Nigeria to actually encourage the usage of online platform and digital platform to actually execute transactions rather than the archaic way of actually banking that we are most used to. And I think that actually is what actually opened that door to most of these tech companies that actually saw the opportunity in the Nigerian market. And as a result of that, that is what we are seeing, what we are currently seeing in the market now.
Okay, so let's talk about this now. The sector raised about $440 million in investment in 2020 and more than $600 million in 2021, amounting to nearly a quarter of the total funds attracted by African tech startup. What is the growth prospect like for the Nigerian digital economy, and how best can this solve the issue of financial inclusion in the country?
I think to a great extent, we would have seen that the fintech company, they are already helping in actually bridging the gap to actually solve the issue of financial inclusion in the economy. If you look at most especially in the months of January, February, when we have cash crunch issue, and at that particular point in time, you notice that most business retailers actually they resorted to using some of these big tech companies as a mode of receiving revenue and also a mode of payment of service for their businesses. I think number one on the platform is on that list will be OP, because we noticed very well that there's hardly anyone that doesn't have OP accounts at that particular point in time, because everybody has seen that, okay, they are actually very reliable. And, we all saw what happened at that point in time, because it was a time that most banks were not prepared for what actually happened at that time. And as a result of that, they couldn't actually cater for the traffic that actually came upon their platform at that particular point in time. So we saw how some of these fintech companies actually stepped in and helped to actually reduce the burden on the Nigerian banking institutions, and as a result of that, we still had the decision about transactions were easily consummated without any hitch. So I think their emergence as to one way or the other actually we know some of those people that are actually not included in the banking system, and also knowing fully well that you don't need to have there's not much requirement to actually open some of those accounts in your room. You can decide to open those accounts in as much that you have maybe your BVN or your NIN as a form of identification to actually open the account. So I think the emergence of this fintech company has helped the aspect of financial inclusion for most Nigerians.
So let me ask you this question now, putting you on a spot now. Do you think that the rise of fintech or digital banking platform is a threat to the growth of commercial banks in the country? And if we have to do a projection of the future, now look into the future now, what do you think, or what would you say is the future like for commercial banking sector in the country?
So, if you want to look at it, I will just answer the question in a perspective that will help. The fact that you see banks like Access Bank having a separate or a subsidiary company that's into fintech that's called Oxygen and Hydrogen. And when you have a big bank like GT also having a fintech company called the Squad on Abari. It tells you to a great extent that also these banks, they understood the threat that some of these fintech companies are actually bringing to the market. As a result of that, you will see most of them also, some of them are taking proactive action to also migrate into that sector also, where they can also take advantage of the fact that they're already in the business of banking to actually take advantage of that to maximize what that sector has to bring. And also, when you look at banks like Zenith Bank, they've gotten approval in principle also to actually play in that sector. You also now have other technical telecommunication companies also that also play in that segment. You have the MTN Money Mobile, you have the Airtel Money Mobile also, and these are great threats to the markets, and I'm sure the banks, they're actually aware of this, and that's why most of them are also moving to that sector to actually partake in the cake that the sector brings to the table.
So let me take my next question from what you just said now. Telcos are now venturing into fintech, and even conventional banks are now launching fintech platform. So it shows that the future of financial service in the country is fintech. Now, despite this, the rise, what would you say is making Nigeria the beautiful bride for the rise of African fintech startup? Do you think the government is doing enough to promote digital economy in the country?
Yeah, first and foremost, we have to look at it from the place of markets. The population of Nigerians is enough reason why anybody want to come to your markets. Now, in a situation whereby you have a population not 200 million, and higher percentage of that, close to 80% of that, is still fall within the labor force, less than 21%, 21 year old. It gives you a reason to say that this is actually a very good market for anybody who wants to actually struggle to actually get into. And that's why you have been seeing a lot of companies trying to actually come and situate in this country. And also on the part of the government, I think the government also are trying to do some of the things to actually encourage some of these companies to actually come into the market, to actually also compete in the market. There's one thing about competitions. Competition will go a long way and improve the level of service that you get in any sector. But when you look at what your competitors are doing, you also want to do better than what they are currently bringing to the table. And I think that is one of the reasons why we are seeing most of these people actually justly to actually come into the Nigerian market. And also, we will not remove the fact that the central bank also still need to do more than what they're currently doing now. But at the same time, we will at least to some extent give kudos to them for that encouragement that they have brought, that they have actually shown that actually attracting most of these people to our markets. So
the sad situation we found ourselves as a country in the first quarter of this year, going by the Naira scarcity, due to the poor implementation of the cashless policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria. What is the future of cashless policy in Nigeria? Do you think that Nigeria is ripe to operate a cashless policy system where we have our economy be driven by cashless society? What's your take on this?
I think for me, we are not fully there now, because if you want to, what is the percentage of Nigerians that are fully?
Okay, we still have Oladipo Ajayi trying to make some sense of the rise of digital banks in Nigeria and then the future of commercial banks as well.